everyone. Welcome back to another sizzling episode of the Trendy Living Podcast. My name is New here, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Today, we are going to be talking about something very interesting. And I say it's interesting because in life, we do a number of things that, we have probably regretted, or we have made so many mistakes, and sometimes we think we can't bounce back from it. But today's episode is basically to tell you how these mistakes can turn into life lessons. And so today I have two amazing guests here, Tiffany and Westcott. Yes. The name is so special and so unique. So before we get right into it, I'll just ask them to briefly introduce themselves, and then we start.
Hi, my name is... Sorry.
No worries.
Hi, my name is Westcott, and I'm a fashion designer.
Okay.
Oh, that's all?
I
was waiting for more.
What else?
I don't know.
What else? Tell us, what do you do for fun?
Been through many things.
Okay.
I feel very... What's happening?
Because you're swiveling,
I'm swiveling the
it's also
chair.
moving.
Okay, sure. So I feel extremely qualified to talk about this topic.
I can't wait to hear what.
I've had a lot of failures and pains. So I'm ready.
Yes. How about you, Tiffany?
My name is Tiffany. I am a law student and I'm a creative, so I do a number of things. And it's very interesting because I recently did this 30 days of gratitude. I think, Dilys, you've seen it on Instagram, where I was talking about some things that went wrong in my life and how I feel like they have turned out for good. So I can so relate with this topic, and I can't wait for us to dive in.
Fantastic.
Alrighty, so I'll just give you sort of like a heading. So we'll talk about friendships, we'll talk about work, relationships, religion, and then purpose. So let's start with friendships. Westcott, tell us what has happened. Yes.
Okay, so I think fundamentally what I learned through the years is that don't depend on people. Don't be overly reliant on other people. Friendships are a beautiful thing. They're supposed to support us, they're supposed to encourage us, they're supposed to make us better. But I feel like sometimes human beings need to learn how to be more independent and self-sustain. You should be responsible for your own happiness, because a lot of times that sense of vulnerability, it leads us into very dangerous arms. And friendships are a necessary evil. It's there's so many advantages to friendship. I could talk about the successes, but I think today we're focusing on the failures, I guess. Yeah, so it comes from a place where if you're very vulnerable and you constantly need encouragement and reassurance, it's so many times that can turn into a trap for your life, where you fall into the wrong crowd, or you become beholden to people, and then you realize that your self-worth starts to drop. So I feel like what I learned about friendship is that it's good, it's a beautiful thing, but you have to take care of yourself first. You shouldn't be overly reliant on other people for company or validation or a sense of self. Try and develop, ways to fulfill yourself, ways to make yourself content, ways to make yourself happy. Otherwise, you might end up in an endless cycle of constantly, looking to others to validate you. And that vulnerability is very dangerous, because it's not every time that human beings will do the right thing.
That's so true.
And so depending on man is such a dangerous thing. And it's so easy to be caught up in a friendship and be caught up in a cycle. By the time you realize you're dependent on that person. And when things fail, there are some friendship heartbreaks that are equally as painful as a relationship.
More painful than...
Apparently, I didn't know that. It caught me by surprise.
But
I've had some painful breakups.
So that the friendship breakup is even more painful than
it's
the
painful.
I'm telling you,
it's really painful.
I didn't know that. It caught me by surprise.
I'm telling you, and I can so relate to what you're saying about the vulnerability thing, because I also had a situation where I was in a very vulnerable spot and I needed some help. This was because someone very close to me had fallen ill. So this is where I needed like that support. But the thing is that you have to learn to have some level of independence.
Yeah.
So that even in situations like that, you can still find your,
like your
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but another interesting thing that happened with me when it comes to friendships. So I had this school mom and she had a friend who was very close to me, who I was close to. But then my school mom had a little bit of a beef with her and she hadn't done anything to me, but I kind of took the beef for myself.
Yeah.
It's not like I did anything crazy,
No,
but there was a time I saw her and I passed and I passed. So one time I saw her, I was like, what am I doing? So I wrote her this note saying, I'm so sorry. And then she said, you know what, I don't want people like this in my life. Like, people who treat their friends badly. And I think for me, it was a very big life lesson because I realized that if somebody has a problem with somebody, let them deal with their own issues.
Exactly.
You and the other person don't have a problem. So just, yeah. So that was one life lesson for me, especially in friendship. Don't take people's battles. They are not yours.
And I mean, I could relate to that because oftentimes you end up, hearing or even experiencing the better side of that person that your friend is beefing with. And sometimes it can even be very embarrassing, like, because the person did not do anything to you. So don't take your friends' battles. Please let them fight on their own. So what else? What other lessons about friendships do you think that,
Okay, so in recent times, I had this conversation with a friend. So this is a friend who, interesting. She went silent on me. And in my mind, I'm like, what did I do? So I was just going back in my mind. What did I do? I was just looking through. I didn't find anything. So I decided, okay, she wants to cut me off. And so I agreed. I allowed it. I never asked her. I never, questioned it. It's been a year. And then I was there one day. She sends me this message. Very long. Telling me that I was sidelining her and I was giving other friends attention. And so she decided that I wasn't that important to her. So she decided to, withdraw. And in my mind, I'm saying, so why didn't you talk to me? Because if only you had spoken to me, perhaps we could have talked about this. This has been a year and I don't even know what to do about this. But I think the lesson I learned here is this, that even if somebody is withdrawing from you, if it's a friendship that you cherish, make an attempt. I don't know. I think it's controversial because on her part, she shouldn't have withdrawn. But on my part, perhaps I should have interrogated the thing. I don't know. What do you think, Whiskers? I don't know.
I think it's crazy I think that unstable energy is just a toxic cycle.
Right.
Yeah. I don't I think I used to tolerate it when I was younger. That sort of today, happy tomorrow, but I think right now I have too many problems to be focusing on.
So let's all communicate, basically.
Communicate.
Yeah.
I think we have to be mature. That the time of those kind of hidden feelings.
There's no time.
I think as you get older, there's so many stresses. So if you're going to be in my life and just be inward looking and having all of these tantrums, Charlie.
Yeah, but I also feel like it's because of the, that trend where people automatically accept haters or frenemies. When someone does this to you, then they don't like you, so you have to cut them off. And so it's like the trends that have been going around. It's not too healthy. Communication is always
key.
Key. So let's also talk about quality of friends, because now in this day and age, people prefer quantity over quality. And
Okay.
I mean, I remember my dad said something. My dad told me at that time I didn't agree with him because I was young and naive. And he told me, never make a friend who is dumber than you. Always make sure that every friend you make is smarter than you.
So much. Don't make a friend who is dumb.
He's always make sure that any friend you make is smarter than you. Basically, is ahead of you so that you can learn from the person.
Right.
And at that time I was like, friendship is about fun and bonding. But as I got older,
you appreciate it.
I become to understand that friendship a lot of times has to serve a purpose. It's not just about having fun and sort of friendships are a great tool for progression. They're a great tool for reflection. They friends are supposed to make you better. And it's not just about having a good time. Friends are not just about Friday issues, but whether you're married, you need a friend to hold you down, to give you the right advice, to give you the right perspective.
That's true.
And so I began to understand where my dad was coming from. I think he said it in a very, sort of like rough and tumble kind of way, but as you begin to think about it, yes, be with somebody smarter. So, there has to be a quality of personalities around you because, spiritually, you are who you surround yourself with.
That's right.
Yeah.
You don't want to. A lot of times, human beings tend to overestimate how much we determine our own destinies, but that's stimulation, whether up or down.
Absolutely.
Who you spend your time with, it has a direct effect on your path and your direction in life. Yeah.
Definitely.
I've had situations where, friends were not supportive, friends were discouraging, friends were like bringing a lot of negativity into your life because they're having issues of their own. And Charlie, as I got older, like I clear. You know what I'm saying?
I clear.
Yeah, like there's so much to prioritize.
Exactly.
So friendship becomes very dangerous. Yeah, so I definitely agree that quality over quantity. Yeah, quality over quantity. And fix your insecurities. Stop relying too much on the crowd to give yourself meaning. Nah.
Tiffany, I saw you looking into the air.
I was like, so the truth is, what he's saying is like pure facts, right? It's definitely quality over quantity. And I was thinking about something actually that I saw on Instagram. Maybe that's why my eyes were going up. But it's like you need like 4 kinds of friends. The ones who can tell you when you are off. There are some people in your life, they can't even, like you're doing something that is not exactly right. And then they can't call you out on it because it's like they're afraid of you or hey, if I step on their toes. You should have people in your life who are candid, who are not afraid to tell you. And I'm grateful for that people in my life because, it's not like they're saying it to bash you.
Yeah.
They're saying it to tell you that we know you can do so much better. And so let's do better, right? And then the people who, are going to stick with you through thick and thin, whether you are right or wrong. Because sometimes we do make mistakes, we do fall along the way. But we need people who can stand with you and say, you know what? You didn't do well with this particular thing, but if the world is against you, I got you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you have like those kind of people in your corner, it just makes life so much better, because we will fall along the way. But to have people who can support. I've forgotten the other 2 categories.
Oh, Charlie,
But
you need to remember because
you need really quality people. People who can tell you like the truth.
Check you.
Yeah. Sometimes you are going left. You need to go right. To just check you small and those kind of things. So I think we do need a circle of people who can, look at our blind spots and all those other things and also just cheer us on because we need people. You need cheerleaders from time to time.
I really like that. Perhaps we'll add the additional 2 categories.
We'll find a way to add them.
So from friendships, we go to relationships. Avoid men. Period.
What's that?
Avoid men. Okay. So when it comes to relationships, what mistakes have you made?
Are you going first?
I think again, I've been through very, painful moments of realizing I didn't know what love was.
This table, come on, shake it. Shake the table because
I think it's something we take for granted. That word is so common, love. And human beings often think that we know what it means. But you'll be surprised. You have no idea what it means. It's not some butterflies.
It's not what the rom-com and those movies
but there are some butterflies there too.
Necessary butterflies, but
it's necessary, but actually for the long-term sustenance, for life's purpose, love is a complex thing. And I think I grew into, whatever problems that you have in life, love is not going to solve it. It will help. But I learned that, you shouldn't be too eager for somebody to save you.
This is a message.
They are too deep.
That's
not a sausage.
You shouldn't be too eager to save you. And then I say this to my sisters.
So you know what? Tell us the mistake, because right now it sounded very, I'm not part of you guys. Tell us what you did. That made us.
Oh no! Okay, so what it is was ASMR.
You don't have to give plenty details. Summary.
I think, there were situations where, as a man, you have to be. I began to realize that women, often they tell you that they want sensitivity, but I began to realize that, women primarily need a protector. Mm-hmm. Somebody to make sure that they're all right. Somebody to be a rock in difficult times. And so there were many times in my life where I got overwhelmed with a lot of, life's pressures. And it's like I sought refuge in the arms of somebody.
The arms of who?
Yeah,
name and shame.
No. Her name here, but
no. Yeah, we can't. Yeah.
Let's just say that, I just realized that I have to save myself. That you shouldn't put that pressure on somebody else. You shouldn't go and pour your insecurities on somebody else. It's like, I realized that because I was going through problems, I would always pour my insecurities on the person, expecting the person to take up all the burden of my pain. And then one day, I think it was, shout out to my friend Chris.
Shout out.
I think he told me that how can you love somebody else when
you don't even love
yourself? You don't love yourself. Like, I think it was some Instagram thing. I think we have been discussing back and forth. And he said that, I think that the post was, never trust anybody to love you who doesn't love themselves.
Okay.
And he sent it to me, he says, this is you. Speaking of friends.
Friends who call you out.
He was like, you're not loving yourself. You're going through so much pain and trauma in this moment that you're letting somebody else bear the burden. And so you're not being very, very attractive right now. And so, you have to be at peace with yourself. Yeah. Otherwise, the person you're with is going to have to go through the brunt or the burden of the insecurities that you're feeling. So I did you wrong. I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
We need a box of tissue over here.
Now we're talking about mistakes. By the time we realize, Mama,
I wasn't feeling too well.
Oh, the camera is not
I wasn't feeling too good, and I did you wrong.
Tiff, what about you?
Relationships.
Yes.
Oh, I have plenty stories. Okay, so I think one of the mistakes I would say is like when you started talking about how we think we know what love looks like, but we really don't. I think I can relate on that level. So I had this person in my life. We were friends when we were younger. Maybe secondary school, let me just say that. And so at the end of the day, right, this person had been in my life for years and had always been showing up. When we talk about selflessness, at that time in my life, I would say he would do anything for me. Like, literally. You just have to just pick up the phone. Just be calling. Because when you call, he will pick. And he would, it's not like he would do over, like he would do it within his ability. It's not like he's going to go and do anything crazy. But, once he's able to do it, he will show up for you. And then I was dating this other person because, he did not say anything. So I didn't think he was interested. I just thought, such a great friend. And it was nothing romantic. No butterflies, nothing. No, but this is pure love. We talk about agape. Talk about somebody who sacrificed for you. Talk about someone who is a friend. Like when I say I was struggling with my prayer life.
A friend indeed.
I was struggling with my prayer life. He started calling me every day. Let's pray.
Wow.
Then you call me in the night. Then so we pray. It's very soft and calm. I wanted some shabayo, but he was doing soft. But I was great. It was nice. But these are the things. Like you have to. Okay, anyway, no, let me go there. So I
come there.
I didn't know that all these things were signs that this person really loves you and really wants the best for you. And I went to date somebody else who didn't even know what he wanted in life. Clearly, then he asked me out, and I bounced him. After he had loved me for I think 3 years or so.
Wow.
And I didn't know. But the thing is, he said in his mind, he thought I was his wife. It's not like a question. Because from all the things that he has done over, he didn't say from all the things he had done, but if you read his actions, you know that this is a person who wants to go the long haul with you. But you're thinking of love in this movie kind of way. It's like, it has to look like this boy meets girl. They look at each other, it's like, That's the man of my dreams. Not knowing. It's not about that. It's like, this is the man who has proven through his actions that he cares. So for me, that was a major life lesson. That don't be looking out for these, movie kind of love situations. Maybe your own will come like that. But look at the actions and see who is who.
Hollywood is problematic.
It's problematic. Yeah. They're stressing us out.
Yeah.
Because even in Africa, that's not how it works.
No. Exactly. Africa, there's more substance.
There's more substance,
and service and kind of protection and all those kind of things. Yeah.
That was major for me.
Green flags that turn into red flags.
That's
the last one before we move to the next.
Green flags that, okay.
Yeah,
that's
or maybe things that seem like, they were green flags, and then you enter into it and it's like,
Okay. So then a recent story, then I'll give you. So I remember I was talking earlier about, vulnerability, and when you're in a vulnerable space and then somebody shows up for you, right? So this is a situation where I'm in a very vulnerable space because someone very close to me was very ill, and then I had lots of other things to do, so there was stress everywhere. This person just walks onto the scenes so kind, so caring. I was like, hey, big bro. In my mind, I'm like, oh, big bro. Ha 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 ha. He ain't no big bro.
Exactly.
He knows why he came. He knows what he's doing. And in my mind, these are all green flags, great support and cheering you on, and it's like this, and the next thing you know, I'm here for my pound of flesh. You better give me my pound of flesh. It turned red real quick, and in your mind, you're always turning it back to green.
Yes,
because you've seen green before. You think this red you're seeing, it can never be red. It must be green. So everything you see that is red, you change it immediately. You become colorblind and make it turn green until it's too late, and then you are sitting with yourself and your self-betrayals and all of those things, and you have to do a whole lot of mental health healing and a lot. But I think you have to be discerning. I think that will be the word, because some people will come looking like they have good intentions, but you have to test it. Test spirits and know whether this person is coming for something else, you know? So yes, green flags turned red
quickly.
It's a thing. And I don't want to say this person was a narcissist or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. I think at the end of the day, what matters is what you learn from the thing and how it helps you and how it changes you. Because you see, I feel like many people get stuck in the oh my God, woe is me and such a sad story. What do I do? You have to get up. You have to look at the thing that was trying to break you and look it back in the face and say, you can't do that to me. I will do to you what you thought you could do to me. And take control. Take control of your life again. So instead of, whether they were this or that, what have you become? What have you learned? And how are you going to apply it in the rest of, your life?
Yeah. I'd like you to also talk about knowing when to walk away from something that, that could have been good, but it doesn't serve you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Hey.
I mean, I
was going to repeat that when I realized you were in deep thoughts.
I've had it. It just sort of brought some memories to mind. I think it goes back to what we're discussing, that understanding what love is. A lot of times there's a difference between obsession and love. There's a difference between lust and love. So you enter something and you're so excited in the short term, but you realize in the long term it's not a rewarding relationship.
Yeah.
And that person may be steering you away from your life goals, steering you away from your peace of mind. It becomes a toxic experience. So yeah, I'll just say that have your purpose in mind, and if the person doesn't, relationships as you're growing, it's not everything that is necessarily serious or whatever. We meet people for different reasons, but I think always measure somebody against your sense of purpose and your journey, and I think that's the greatest marker to sort of eventually evaluate a relationship on.
I like the fact that you mentioned purpose, because that's that was the next thing I was going to ask you.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yes. So what are some of the things that in trying to pursue purpose you have learned? Because there's this pressure to want to do certain things at a certain age, you know. And sometimes you have this idea of how life is going to turn out, and so you just, you know, run so fast, and then you realize that, you know, at the end of the day, if you are just sat back to listen more, to try and analyze the whole thing, maybe you wouldn't have found yourself in certain things. So let's talk about that to, you know, wrap it up.
So purpose, when you say purpose, the first scripture, it's only a scripture that comes to my mind. It's Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good for them that love God and are called according to his purpose. I think that every single thing on your life's journey is contributing to your purpose. It's contributing to who you are. And so I'm going to give you an analogy. And I think this is the first time I'm talking about it publicly. But my initials spell TEA, right? Tea. And one time, I felt like God was telling me that the brewing of tea, right, requires hot water. It requires the heat for the flavor to come out. So if you don't go through difficult things, you will not, the flavor won't come out. And so we see our lives as, like you see yourself as a bag of tea. And see the things that you've been through as the things that are supposed to bless the world. And so for me, I've been through a number of things. Some of the things I've shared here, I'm realizing how they are impactful for my journey. And, you know, I was telling you about how I did the 30 days of gratitude. Yeah. So I did it and I was so shocked. Like, lots of people come under the stories and I'm like, I can relate. Oh my God. And I was like, oh, okay.
You're not alone.
I'm not alone. Yeah. And you don't know what you're going through. You don't know the reason why you're going through the thing you're going through. Somebody else is coming 10 years later, 20 years later, and will come across a video you've done and be like, yes, I have my answer. So the thing is that you're walking in the now, but do not take for granted what you're walking through because it's going to be a blessing to someone else.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really love that. What about you?
Yeah, I think the most significant thing I learned on this journey is that I used to have a very vain perspective about life. Like, life is about milestones, get married by 30, build a business, do this kind of thing. And that's not where the glory lies in life, really. Yeah, life is about sacrifice. Life is about responsibility. And I think since you mentioned the scripture, one of the most enlightening scriptures I encountered was that it's somewhere in Isaiah. I can't remember the exact reference. Now it says, day by day he awakens me so that I will know how to comfort the weary.
Wow.
And then I realized that it's the things we go through. And I think Aristotle said that humility is a rank that we attain. And so I began to realize that it's our failures, it's our life lessons that teach us to be humble and then extend love to other people. And ultimately, that's the most important commission of any human being. We're born to love each other, to support each other. So anytime you fail, anytime you fall, you get at a crossroads. Either you become bitter or you become better. At that point, either you choose to be more reliant on God, more reliant on love, more reliant on patience, or you choose to become like a bitter person, resentful of the world. And so failures are an opportunity for love to dominate.
That's right.
Failure is an opportunity for you to realize your own inadequacies. And one thing about the human experience is realizing that vulnerability is a superpower. It's what gives us the ability to love. That if we have a sense of frailty, then we can value other people's sense of frailty and respond to them and nurture them and help them grow, just like we needed help to grow.
Wow. At this point, what can I even say? I can't say anything, but guys, you've heard it all. At this point in time, you know that we are holding your hands and walking with you through this life journey. If you have any concerns or if you want to talk to us, just feel free to reach out to our DMs on Instagram and on YouTube. Thank you so much for this amazing conversation.
Thank you for having us.
Bye.
Bye.